All I'm saying, if you have one of these robot things and your house gets robbed, I'm not going to feel bad for you. That's it. That's my intro. Hi, I'm Amanda. You're watching Swell Entertainment. And today we are talking about the Neo home helper robot thingies that are now going to market. So, I had not heard of these things at all until they hit. Oh God, I hate the landing page. Sorry to this man. But that's not what I'm looking at. I swear to God, it's looking at me. This is the Neo. It's a home robot. You can order one with a $200 deposit right now, and I hate it. It is fish lens eyes, and it's supposed to like help you around the house and stuff. Also, don't let the height of this man fool you. I'm 5'2". This thing is apparently 5'6". No. We watched their full promo video on Twitter on stream.
I don't like that it's just Chad. It's just standing there menacingly. 5'6", 66 pounds. It only has a 4-hour battery life. That's nothing. It comes in a pod.
And like, I get it. As someone that hates AI, I still do. I know we often say that one quote. I don't know who this came from, so I apologize for not being able to attribute it. I don't want AI to do art for me. I want it to do my dishes and fold my laundry. This is horrifying, okay? No. It's 1X Tech that put this out. Extremely odd. The way they set it up is odd. My stream thought maybe it was a promo for a horror movie. It's not, unfortunately. Oh God, I have like, it's stressing me out. Really quick, let me tell you about the sponsor for today's video, Lilo. I understand how busy and hectic and chaotic this time of year can be, especially with Black Friday. You have to focus on getting gifts for everyone. But why not give yourself the gift of pleasure this holiday season with the help of Lilo? Lilo is not just another self-pleasure toy brand. No. Lilo is the self-pleasure toy brand. Known for their luxury design, premium quality, and innovative tech, Lilo is loved by millions worldwide. This isn't about gimmicks or trends. It's about pleasure that is intentional and elevated. This Black Friday, Lilo has a ton of deals on premium pleasure toys, and you get to stack my discount code on top of those deals so you get an even better deal on your pleasure. Lilo always sends me toys, but this time they sent me the Sona 3 Cruise, which is the icon reinvented. I hate awkward patterns in toys, and the Sona 3 Cruise has smooth rise technology, so the pleasure gradually builds, getting you where you need to go in a smooth and easy way. It's made with super soft silicone, has 10 pleasure settings and 16 intensity settings. Be sure to check out the Sona 3 Cruise and other toys on the Lilo website to check out their Black Friday deals, but also you can use code SWELL15 to get 15% off your purchase on top of the Black Friday deals this season. And thank you to Lilo for sponsoring this video. The whole point is that this is a robot that you can have clean your house for like $20,000. You can schedule its chore time. It'll like do the dishes and vacuum and water your plants. And they slip in at one point in this video like, oh, and if there's a chore that your Neo doesn't know how to do, then like autonomous puppetry or whatever the fuck they say, like can take over, and one of our offsite people can like basically puppet them to get them to do the task basically while it learns. So that's horrible. Okay, bad. Also, you can take over the view of your Neo at any time, and I'm like, that's a horror movie. Imagine you take over your Neo's eyes, like do a little peek through to see what it's doing, and it's just like staring over the empty crib. It's just staring into your bedroom, doing nothing, staring out the window at your neighbor. What then? How do you deal with that? As I've gotten older, I watched Smart House as a child. I think we all did. And like, I know that was a scary movie, but like even growing up, I was like, I think having a smart house would be cool and fun and nice, But as I've gotten older and the rise of AI has happened and gotten dumb, I've become much more hostile to the concept of like smart devices and things like that. Like I have exactly one smart device truly in my home, and it is my coffee maker. Okay. So I have a Keurig, and I had like the dorm style Keurig. When that one was like dying, I decided that I should get a bigger Keurig because I live alone, but I have space for a reservoir. I don't need to just spoon in like a cup of water every time I want to have a cup of coffee. So I got a bigger coffee maker, and I got the one that like had Wi-Fi connection. Advertisement was all like, oh, it like will scan the top of your coffee pod and tell you what brand it is and be able to tell you like the perfect brew time, and it'll like calculate it well and all this stuff. And at first I was like, oh, that's cool, because I was a barista, you know, but I also like with my at-home coffee, I'm extremely lazy. I just want my caffeine in the morning. I want my coffee. I don't want to do anything fancy with it. So I'm like, that's cool. Now I like low-key bricked that thing, because all it would do is like alert me about sales of Keurig pods. And it would be like, this isn't a Keurig pod. And then it'd be like, oh, you got this Keurig pod, but you're almost out. You're going to be out in like 4 pods. Do you want us to order more? It was just advertisements 90% of the time. And it irritated me, because that's the problem with a lot of smart devices, is it's subscription hell, or it's a bunch of ads. And we're now seeing this as well with the Samsung Smart TV starting to play ads inside your home, which is insane. And also now, because you're like, Amanda, what the heck? Imagine you have this home robot. The concept of these AIs, these in-home AIs and these AI wearables, I never made a video on the friend.com pendants. I made a lot of posts about it. If you ever show up at a dinner party, a day out, and I see you wearing that thing, I'm never speaking to you again. Later on in this video, in like the second part where it's talking about like automation, there is a bit where like one of the homeowners like calls for the Neo to like come and take a glass, okay? In order to hear you say that, it has to kind of always be on and listening, okay? So I'm assuming it's like the friend pendant, where when you got the friend pendant, you basically consent to it always being on and always collecting data. So just because something is not, say, broadcasting an advertisement to you, money is being made off of you in some capacity. Like, there is a value gain from them having this thing in your home. And it is because it is learning from you and recording you, and what it does with that data would be intrigued to find out. Now, I had this theory. I'm like, I don't think current AIs, any of them, okay, are sophisticated enough to handle what this robot would need to handle, okay, while watching this. I don't know if this is going to work the way they're framing it to work in this, because it's kind of would have to function like a Roomba, but times 10. So like a Roomba, for example, like kind of has to map out the rooms so it knows what to go and clean before it plugs itself back in, okay? However, a Neo would need to do that with your entire home, but also all of your cupboards, all of your plates, all of your utensils, your plants. There is a level of like human intelligence that is needed to be able to determine, okay, I can use the hose for this. I need a watering can for this. I can just dump a cup of water into this plant, you know. That's kind of difficult, because now your living room is flooded because it tried to water your plants with the hose inside. There's a whole section where it's like, you can have it look for your keys and your wallet. Is it going to rip your house apart? If I can't find it, why would I trust this robot to find it? That's crazy. Unless it's like, you left it over here, still wouldn't like it. There's a moment where an old man is asking what type of spice he's carrying because he doesn't know where his glasses are. And the robot says, oh, your glasses are on your shirt. Besides like the companion feature for old folks, we also know that like that's not how people see companion robots. They kept emphasizing like the soft shell. It's like literally like a knit outer shell that's machine washable. Why are you telling me that detail? Grabbing a glass is a lot like grabbing other things. And then this is what it looks like through the eyes of the Neo. And like, it's moving very slow, and it's not moving particularly well even in this mode. Neo works autonomously by default. For any chore it doesn't know, you can schedule a 1X expert to guide it, helping Neo learn while getting the job done. If you're trying to frame this as a home chore robot, it should know every chore. Obviously, that's not the case, because every chore is different for every home. What's in a condo isn't a home with a pool, isn't a home with pets. What stresses me out is none of these things show me like what this functions with as with a pet in the home. Hermes would take this thing down like it was a fleeing trespasser. What if this thing kills my dog? What's the plan? Who do you sue? Because I would be suing someone. Well, this thing wouldn't be in my home, actually. What happens if this like hurts a child? Light, fewer components make Neo lightweight without compromising performance. That also makes it have a horrible battery life. The battery life on this thing is 4 hours. 4 hours. It can apparently plug itself in. You do have to have a giant like charging thing somewhere for it to plug itself in. What's the charging time of this thing? Laugh and learn, ask Neo questions and get instant access to knowledge, personalized intelligence, or even a joke. So character AI, okay, which I've previously talked about, character AI has now changed it so that you have to be 18 and up to use their service with their chatbots. Kids will find a way around it because of course they will. I would like the whole thing to implode. It won't. But another 13-year-old unfortunately did take their own life. Their mother was talking about how they found messages between this child and chatbots on character AI, including some of which were sexual in nature. Statement the mom said was, "This was no different than her talking to a wall or a plant. There was no one looking out for my daughter that could contact someone to raise an alarm." And that keeps happening. What happens in this instance? Neo, I'm having dark thoughts. What's the plan? Is the person that is remote accessing it, are they going to call for help? Neo is built for full autonomy. Early access offers foundational autonomy. And with continued use, Neo learns and unlocks new capabilities, which means it's always on and studying you. I hate this thing. I have a Dyson. I love my Dyson. My Dyson's stuck right now. I don't know what happened. I think I closed it wrong. I can't get it open. So it's basically infunctional because I can't empty the base that holds all the dust and the dirt and things like that. I can't empty it out. So it's basically inusable until I can get that open. But that's a vacuum that I've had for years. You know, what happens when this thing gets wet? When it flips itself over like a turtle on its back when it's trying to load the dishwasher. Okay, will a 1X expert be able to connect and enter my Neo at any time? No, owners have to actively schedule a time for an expert to support with their chores and accept them into their robot using voice or mobile. Neo's emotive ear rings will change color while a 1X expert operator is active. Owners will have full control over each session. How do I know you're not lying? We see this daily. There's another lawsuit about who's doing what with what data when. Why would I assume that you are different as my home robot? I just think that there's a level of sophistication that would be required from an autonomous AI at this stage that we have not seen from AI. Is my Neo waterproof? Neo's hands are waterproof, but overall the product is not. Should your Neo get wet, an automatic order will be placed for a child-sized plastic swimming pool and 100 kilograms of basmati rice. Not really, but please don't get Neo wet. You're trying to sell me a $20,000 home robot? And you have jokes. The concept of a Neo like this as well, okay? We see this right now with electronic vehicles, okay? Where a lot of people that buy electronic vehicles have trouble selling them later when they are used because the technology is adapting and changing so quickly. Already cars are depreciating assets, but when you sell your electronic vehicle, it's going to be way less than whatever you purchased it for, even by normal car standards, because the technology is almost outdated already the moment you draw it off a lot. So I can't imagine that that's not going to be the same case with a Neo. I almost made a video on this and then I decided against it because a lot of them were like really, really sad actually. But they were like kid robots that were like for children, and a lot of kids became attached to them. A lot of families became attached to them. People became attached to them, and then they just shut them down. And so like it basically bricked these robots that were like kid-like. And so kids were like really upset about it. And families, like I saw videos of people crying because the robot was going away. Like it was almost like a death in the family for a lot of these people. This is our artificial intelligence. Concern about the new Neo household humanoid robot, serious concern. So I've been reading about the new Neo humanoid robot that's supposed to handle household tasks and use remote human operators when it's unsure what to do. It sounds cool, but I've been wondering what's stopping one of these remote operators or even a hacker pretending to be one from doing something malicious while the robot's in its home. Theoretically, couldn't someone see your credit card, personal documents, or even hear private conversations while remotely controlling it? Are there any real safeguards or transparency about what data is visible to human operators? Companies will talk encryption, access control, audit logs. Sure, sounds great on the landing page. In practice, anytime you mix cameras, microphones, physical movement, and human operators, trust becomes the product, and trust without transparency is just adrenaline wearing a suit. The real question is not, could a bad actor abuse this, but how long before someone does? If remote operators have eyes and agency, you need answers like what data can they see? Who are they? Are sessions recorded? Can the user see when a human is active? What physical actions are locked out for humans versus AI? What happens if the system is hacked? It did not show this thing going upstairs. What if you have 2 floors? What if you have 3 floors? What if you have a basement? How many bathrooms do you have? How many bedrooms do you have? Do you have different bed types in the bedroom? Like, there's a level of sophistication to this AI that, like, sure, as humans, we're like, this seems minimal. Like, I go from one room to another. But, like, it's different to train an AI to do that and then train that AI to deal with the limitations of the robot's faux musculature. Though the robot can do basic things, as it learns from you, its owners, okay, it will continue to be able to do more. And you're supposed to tell me that 1X isn't going to be taking that data to train the rest of their robots to make them more developed when they get purchased by someone else so that they don't have to do as much training on those? Like, I'm supposed to believe that what it learns from me, it's only going to learn from me and it's not going to do anything else and you guys aren't going to do anything with that? That just seems naive to believe that, truly. So I could not find a non-paywalled version of this article from the Wall Street Journal by Joanna Stern. And so originally I was reading a transcript from her appearing on the Wall Street Journal podcast, tech podcast, to discuss her time with the Neo and all of that. However, after I finished filming, they did put out a video with Joanna trying out the Neo, so we're going to pull from that instead. So obviously I'm not going to show you this whole video. I'll have it linked down below, but I highly recommend watching it because there's a bunch of interesting tidbits in here that do not necessarily contradict what's on the website, but definitely give more insight into what they're hoping for the first round of early adopters. For example, this is Turing. He is the one that is the remote operator of the Neo.
Collaboration is essentially when there is a human in the loop.
And who is the voice I'm hearing right now of Neo?
I am a remote operator in a different room in the building.
And what's your name?
Turing.
What's your real name?
My real name is Turing.
Like, that's your name on your birth certificate?
Yes, it is, believe it or not.
Alan Turing was, of course, the famous computer science and artificial intelligence pioneer. But this Turing, with a VR headset and controllers, was the one actually operating Neo.
Yes, she does show him how to do 6-7, which I'm sorry, did cause me psychic damage.
That body lets Neo try to do a lot of things humans do. Emphasis on try. Can I get a water? If only the real world didn't have doors. All in, it took Neo a little over a minute to fetch a water from the fridge 10 feet away.
The dishwasher segment is also fascinating because I think it truly shows like the actual functional limitations of this robot. But as you can see for this test, they set it up so that the fork is just primly placed on top between the two glasses, which is crazy. Can it not pick it up from the bottom of the basin? What about everything that's going to be on the bottom of the basin? Like, even then, here it is trying to get into the proper formation to close it. It does do it. It just takes quite a bit of time to load 3 items into the dishwasher. Yikes. You got this. Bend with the knees. Oh, also, this model of the Neo needed brakes to charge and also cool down because apparently it was overheating, which is wild.
The videos of the robot doing things via teleoperation become the training data to make the AI model smarter. That's why 1X is putting Neo in the homes of early adopters.
I think it's quite important for me to just say that in 2026, if you buy this product, it is because you're okay with that social contract. If we don't have your data, we can't make the product better.
Oh, look, it's exactly what I said it would need to do because that's the only thing that made sense. OMG, no way. Wow.
I'm a big fan of what I call like big brother, big sister principle, right? Big sister helps you. Big brother is just there to kind of monitor you. And we are very much the big sister. Depending on how much you want to trade, we can be more useful. And you decide where on that scale you want to be.
To be clear, on my visit, I didn't see Neo do anything autonomously.
They talk here now about AI slop, but they say this is not the same thing as AI slop. It's robotic slop, which means that it's still helpful. It's like the most helpful of all the slops because the items ended up where they needed to be, even if it wasn't done well. The shirt ended up being folded, even if it wasn't folded well. And I saw someone on Twitter refer to this as they have taught an AI weaponized incompetence, and they're somehow trying to convince us that this is a good thing. I will say this interview says a lot more about the privacy element when it comes to the remote operators than is detailed on the website. Apparently they have given the Neo the ability to blur out people, like, so if someone is using the remote operation, they can't like see your children's faces or anything like that. You can make it so that there are no-go rooms for the Neo when it's in that operator mode and things like that. However, again, if you're going to be using these functions, if you're going to be trying to teach this thing how to do your bed, of course it's going to need to go to your bed. If you need it to tie to your office, it's going to go into your office. You're going to want it to do that. Good to know that there's more guardrails on it, but it still seems like a temporary solution because eventually they're going to have to go in those rooms.
Spending the day with Neo was a bit like spending the day with a toddler learning how to do things in the world. The next few years isn't about owning a super useful robot. It's about raising one. Letting it learn from your home, routines, and chores. All at the expense of the privacy.
Do you have games on your phone? What can it do then? Because the thing that you came to show her, that she came to try the robot out with, all of that was done with the teleoperator. So then what can it do? What can it do if literally everything that you had it show her, it needed a teleoperator for? Because then it's like, it can do many things. What? Do it. Go. These things aren't being shipped out until 2026. Again, if you have one of these things and you get robbed, I'm not going to feel bad for you because, again, when, how, if, companies as is are already having data issues, whether on their own accord or because they just don't have proper security. I don't like looking at this thing. I don't like this thing being in the house. I don't like that it's taller than me. I don't like a lot of this. Let's say that even for the nature of someone who is disabled that would potentially need something like this instead of a home carer or something like that, because the home caring industry is incredibly expensive. $20,000 would disappear like that in a lot of home caring situations. However, this robot putting away something wrong or even haphazardly could be more of a problem for people who are disabled or need extra help because I need a glass and I can't reach it now because you put it on this higher shelf because you thought the bowl should go here instead. We can go around in circles. This thing creeps me out and I don't like it. And again, at a certain point, even the thumbnails on their own video the beady eyes of that thing staring back at me. Like, there's been already a bunch of edits of people like, hey, your card declined, of like, especially like, what are you gonna come do? Come take the robot from my house once it's in my home if I don't pay the $5.99 a month, like the $4.99 a month, like for the rental fee? What are you gonna come do? Come into my house and take it? I'm assuming yes. Will it walk itself outside? Will you autonomously take it over and walk itself outside? Like, what's the plan there? I'm so curious. I don't like this thing. I don't like it. It's icky. What are your thoughts on Neo? What are your thoughts on these home robots and things like that? Do you think we are getting to a point where there will be just like robots around and in our homes? Do you think that they never have seen a sci-fi horror movie in their lives? What are your thoughts on the teleoperator coming into your home with this robot? Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I stream on Twitch. My Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder to check out Girly Pop Go if you'd like to see more car and motorsport content. Shout out to my channel members. You also get to join my channel memberships. You can go ahead and click join down below. And that's going to have a lovely day. Goodbye. I don't get why they always focus on like giving them eyes but like no mouth. Like, it's so creepy and weird. I don't like it.